I just got the whole. What is this?
We just got the I brought you in this world. I can take it out. Okay. Wow, you went dark, dark man right there. That is clever right there. That's very clever. That looks like one of the old school.
He went Darkwing Duck is what he did. He went Darkwing Duck. You don't remember how Darkwing Duck did that?
No, that's one of those mystery old school inspector agency people. Old school classical ones.
That's too.
That's crazy. That was a phrase too. What did he pops his collar?
Yeah. Ever since I was a kid, I've been popping my collar. That's funny.
Was that actually a style around you guys' age?
Oh, what? Oh,
like were there dudes who actually unironically popped their collars?
Ever since I was a kid, Can I? Well, let me explain this before we actually get to the regular content. That's a good question. Was popping your collar really a thing? So, yes, but no, not in the sense that you think. So when people was thinking I was popping my collar, they mean that, old school traditional things, your collars were flipped up, things like that. No. What they mean by popping a collar is popping a collar, like you're doing something well. Now, for all the kids in the back who watch battle rap and some other entities that actually has this.
Kids in the back, right?
In the back who watch battle rap and stuff.
All the chicken
when
teams.
you do something really well, you notice that they get grabbed on and whatnot. If you watch DJs when they're doing really well and they got their people in the bag and they do a really smooth transition, they get it from battle rap. But when they do a smooth transition and stuff, all you see is people grabbing the shirt, almost ripping their stuff off. That's popping your collar.
Wait, so
it's just an acknowledgement of doing something well. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna pop your collar because you did something really
So
fresh.
it's similar to the phrase, which is still kind of popping off.
Yeah, more or less, like you're popping off. But in this instance, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. Like you're doing well. You're doing something really, really solid.
It can be a form of good and bad at the same time because, certain people, when you see a certain style, they'll be like, hey, what's up, man? Pop up my collar. But then when you see it in the bad side, they'll be like, man, knock up off me.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain, but they don't really use it in that sense anymore because that's very much a Southern thing. Yeah. If that makes sense. That wasn't really a West Coast or East Coast thing. Popping your collar was basically a South thing, and it kind of just translated into other.
And then one song when I sit back, popping my collar, I'll be
popping my collar, popping
my collar. That song was in back then.
I mean, shout out to Big Sean and them too who did the remix, boy. Anyway, y'all ready? Let's get into this.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of stuff to cover. We gonna get right into it. Oh yeah, we gonna do we did all the New Year and all that stuff.
I know, but
it's
always good to say.
We always did that. I was at a concert. I went to go see
Beyonce.
No.
I would have been better if you would have said Taylor Swift, but
no, I'm not that mean.
Yeah. So I was at a concert, fellas. I was hanging out. I was watching Escape in 702, some old school.
Yeah.
Man, can we talk about this for like 2 seconds? I got two major pieces about this thing. One.
What your old ass doing at the concert?
First of all, there was some old people at the concert. I'm old. I'm old and it's a bunch. So it was a bunch of me's. It was just crazy.
He said it was a bunch of me's.
It was a bunch of me's.
I ain't mad at that.
Any scooters?
Nah, it wasn't no scooters. But I'm not gonna be. I'm trying not to be funny because I need to make a point.
All right.
But I'm gonna make a point, and it's an important one. So when you go to any other concert, people dressed up, all that stuff. Any other race of concert. Let's say it was a Taylor Swift concert. Everybody dressed up. That stuff. Man, I'm in this concert. If it wasn't a ham hock convention in this concert, every single person I saw at this concert that was in this venue, and I'm not towards the front. I got seats in the back. I'm not trying to really see them like that, but I saw them anyway just because they were there. Man, it was a ham hock convention. What I mean by a ham hock convention, the average weight of the women that was walking down in this thing.
So basically, you said it was some big ones.
The average weight was 275 pounds average.
Did you see Bermuda?
Oh, you saw a bunch of them. I'm gonna tell you right now. It was, man. I was trying not to laugh. I'm gonna can I tell you? Can I give you a try? Can I give you a try not to laugh?
You know who he remind me of? Remember the episode of with Charles Barkley and Shaq when Charles Barkley said he was down in San Antonio on the big old.
Yeah, no, these. I mean,
that's how you acting like.
No, because it was a row of 5 of them walking up some steps, right?
Are you sure it wasn't just one?
No, they were all. Let me can I get them to 5?
He expressed himself. It was a roll of 5.
It was like a ham hock train, boy. It was walking up the steps.
Was there a?
No, can I get them? No,
I'm not trying to laugh at that, but damn,
no. Let me take
He said it.
He said it was a ham hock, a train of big old girls.
It was big old girls walking up the steps, right? And these steps are not like these steps are on an incline, right? Man, one girl almost slipped because she was trying to call herself being cute. Was wearing some heels, slipped.
She was running slow.
No, leaned back towards the other girl. All the girls almost tumbled.
Wait, how my app say the big girls how they run?
No.
He said the big girls.
No, there wasn't even that. No, one almost slipped off the step, right? And almost hit the other one in the shoulder. They all held up to the rails for dear life. Like I was like, yo, if y'all fall off these steps.
Where's security at?
Forget security.
What are they gonna do?
Everybody like, well,
when we pulled up to our seats, we got escorted by the seat ladies. You know, hey, here's your seat. Y'all sit up right here, enjoy the show, whole 9. They didn't escort them.
Because they knew that was gonna happen. He said, when you
man,
said roll of 5 of them.
Man, they put them in the back row.
What was they at in the football game?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, we there. They could have definitely been linebackers for all the LA Rams.
He said, them big old girls.
Man, no, I ain't. No.
A train full of hell.
I ain't trying to be funny.
I mean, I heard some baggy words in my days, but you said it was 5 of them.
No, because
I got 5.
No, because here's my problem with that whole scenario.
Go for it.
Are we really letting ourselves go as women, especially all of them were black, 90% of them. You know, there's some couple big Spanish girls, couple big white girls in there too. Don't get it messed up. I ain't. It was like I said, this was a thickum show. I mean, dog, and they up there dancing. And stuff. And all you see is, man, they was playing swag and man. If you didn't sit y'all butts down, I wasn't swagging with nobody. Because if I was swagging, there was a big girl to my left, like for real.
Wait a minute.
And if I'd have been swagging and surfing, I would have been knocked over. I would have knocked over the missus in the whole. I would have knocked over the missus in the whole 9.
Them big girls circle Cam.
No, they didn't circle me for nothing. I had my missus there. Forget all that.
They're
they
grazing.
The missus was like,
they wasn't circling shit.
But can I elaborate on something right quick?
Anyway.
Big girls need love too, Cam.
No, forget all that. Get your life together. No, because these are the same ones who be complaining like, but they all going by themselves. So they're going in packs of girls. Ain't no dudes with them. All the ones with dudes, they girls are straight.
But see, that's been a typical argument right there. And that's why I get upset about sometimes because when certain females go to the clubs or bars like that, they say they're not there to meet no dudes. They're just like hanging out with their girls.
That's a lie.
Okay, fair enough. But you can do that at all lesbian too. But you can't get upset.
That goes for a guy or a girl.
Yeah, that goes for both ways. But you can't get upset if a guy comes in there, shoot a shot, whether if they're big or not, and say, well, I didn't come out for all of that. But what do you expect? You do come out for all that. You come out for all that because here's what you
all
get.
That attention. If you didn't come out for all that, you wasn't trying to dress up like the way y'all were dressing up. Thickums and all. Y'all were trying to dress up, doing all that stuff. But you can't tell me you wasn't out there for no dude.
You can't hit on them big girls, man. They
gotta
go out, express themselves. There's nothing wrong with that.
Get your life.
Even if they wearing a 2-piece and a biscuit.
Man,
but
they had to have one girl who did that. They had one girl who had a 2-piece and a biscuit on.
They out there, they.
No,
they living the rest of their life.
But I was like, I've been to many concerts.
Did your glasses fall off?
No. I've been to many concerts. I went to many concerts and I didn't see that. I mean, most concerts you go to, you may see one or two. Okay, here, no, there. You ain't seeing a whole train full of them and 2/3 of the concert venue is like 250 plus.
Hey, it's like anytime there's.
You said 250 plus.
250 plus.
XL.
I mean, nah. I'm talking like they ain't a size 8. They're more like a size 24. Stay in your lane, Brand. Yeah. I'm like one of them.
You want a lane brand?
I'm like, dude, y'all some lane brand girls.
Looking more like Freddie Jackson.
Nah, they were more. They were more. Nah.
This really bothered him.
It kind of did. Because I go to any other concert. Beyonce concert, you don't have that problem, right? I went to go see Gabriel Iglesias at the Forum. Struggled. And you didn't have that problem. I went to go see Chris Tucker at the YouTube. Never had that problem. I saw Music Soul Child in Anaheim when it was just like about 300 people. Didn't have that problem.
But the one time you go...
But the one time I go see, like, the 702 and Black, and I mean 702 and Escape. Now, here's the thing, a quick thing about 702 and Escape. Tiny was drunk.
Of course, Tiny was drunk.
Tiny was drunk. You could tell it, but she could sing though. Here's the thing: they could sing their butts off. They did their thing. I'll give them credit. Their stage show was kind of boring, but they could sing their butts off. I'll give Tiny and Escape that. They also was opened up by 702. They were cool. Shout out to one of their third member passed away a couple of years ago. Shout out to her. Rest in peace and all that. I know they were kind of struggling in that regard. But
they played that one song, "Kick Off Your Shoes."
Yes,
and relax.
yes.
That's what probably started it. Party on down.
No, they did. They did well.
Just kick it.
They did well.
So them big girls will start kicking in there. That's what happened.
They
played that song.
When everybody starts standing up.
What was the main song that kind of made everybody go crazy for me?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you, like for real. In this particular thing, it wasn't really like the artist who did well. You know who did well? Shout out to DJ A1. The DJ had the place rocking.
He mixed it up.
So he was the lead-in to get everybody hyped up for Escape to come out, and that boy got all the way busy.
That's good.
So I'll give shout out to DJ A1.
You know what?
Anyway,
some DJs don't get enough credit as they do, because I done been to some venues when the DJ just had it popping. Just like that last year when I went on that boat trip with my homeboy, the DJ had it popping. He was mixing and everything, but it's hard to find good DJs like that. And not get that the credit they deserve.
Yeah, I always say shout out to
when they always pop out the venue.
Because most concerts where there was a DJ that was there, whether it was DJ Don DeMarco when I saw him during the DMX show, some of the other DJs who was out during concert stuff, they got all the way busy. They were almost better than the artists themselves half the time. They got busy, all the way busy. Anyway, off that, I got to talk about the Ham Hock show for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, extra skin cut off?
Nah. It's like,
ham.
when I didn't want to get close enough to see if they smell like two pieces and a biscuit.
Wow. Anyways.
Sorry, I'm clowning. But I'm clowning. I'm clowning only because...
You didn't know he had to make a sandwich.
No, I'm clowning only because you would think that we would do better. You would think that we would really do better. That's really what the conversation was.
It's a night of them being ratchet, regardless of anything. So
I get the ratchet
when
part.
You want to be around your girls, you want to be around certain people.
No, but see, then they'll be the same ones.
Guys do it too.
They'll be the same ones complaining that, well, ain't no guys around me. They'll be the same ones saying that.
Look what you did.
Ain't nobody throwing me no drinks at the bar. Ain't nobody. Really? Look at yourselves. I know there's some girls who. I know there's some dudes who.
Wait. You gonna get this joke? So some Trixies up in there, huh? There's some. Oh, I knew you was gonna get it.
No.
And big boy like what?
No. I'm gonna tell you right now. So if y'all thought Trixie was big, put two of them combined into one person.
I knew he was gonna
dressed
get the
like
joke.
Trixie.
I know he was gonna get the joke when I said it.
Put two Trixies together. For people who saw the Players Club, by the way. Two Trixies.
Oh my.
With the Trixie outfit on,
wow.
and then you got this concert in a nutshell.
That's a big.
That's sad. Damn.
Anyway,
I'll get off this topic.
I ain't trying.
trying to get us started. Anyway, y'all know who we be, PVC Podcast Crew. Y'all know how we get down. Sorry for a little bit of the delay in the editing and all that stuff because a couple things went down and messed up our editing. But we back at it. Y'all know how we do.
Wait. Before we move on from this, movie Friday After Next. Did any of them look like?
You talking about the one who wanted the cookie?
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
First of all, let me say this.
Baby D's?
I can't. First of all, shout out. First of all, I ain't trying to get beat up. Shout out to Lady Arranged. I ain't trying to get beat up. She a real one.
It probably wasn't no Baby Diesel, but it probably was some of Smokey's mamas up in there.
She a real one.
There was kind of a couple of Smokey mamas up in there.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you right now, the older ones were actually really conservatively dressed, wasn't really like, they were really proper, all that stuff. The older ones, like people who were like above my age, yeah, they were really out there cool.
Because they mature.
Well, Cameron, foolishness is for the young.
But, dog.
Not necessarily true, because I didn't see some old ones lose their mind.
Yeah. But anyway, PVC
Before
Podcast
we get back
Crew,
on this topic.
Yeah. I was trying to lead us alone, but we had to start here. PVC Podcast Crew, y'all know how we get down. You know how we do. Y'all, we've been talking for a minute, but I haven't did my proper introductions for today. So, Paul, how we get down. You know what to do. Say what's up.
What's up, people tuning in to PVC Podcast Crew. There've been some delays, like my boy Cam said, but everything's back on coast steady. So hopefully we can get the last episode that we shot before up and running once we get everything established. But other than that, it's always an honor and pleasure to be back on the table with my brother. So I'm gonna pass it on to my boy Vic. Vic, say what's up to the peoples.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Glad to be back here with the PVC Podcast Crew, shooting another episode with my boys, Cam and Paul here. As always, we hope you enjoy this conversation that we have, and if you didn't enjoy it, please let us know. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we hope you enjoy the content you find here at the PVC Podcast Corner. Please let us know what you think by commenting down below. Tell us you love it, you hate it, and above all, remember this: you don't need to like the video
to like the video.
Cameron,
that's gonna be a good piece of word we can put on a shirt.
So like the video, ladies and gentlemen. You know how I am, Cam, aka Nerd Boy Fresh.
Figure.
Follow me on the gram. Wait a minute.
That was my bad.
DJ, bring it back one more time. Cam, aka Nerd Boy Fresh.
Figure.
Follow me on the gram and all that's good. Follow me on the gram and all that good stuff. We'll talk about TikTok in a minute.
Now, if you're curious as to why we took so long to shoot again, it has been a hot minute. It's because we had to bail Cam out of prison due to the biscuit incident.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Anyway, it ain't been no biscuit. It ain't been no biscuit incidents and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Before we continue, first and foremost, shout out to all the subscribers, of course. We appreciate each and every one of y'all rocking along. And if you're just catching us and crossing, please consider liking and subscribing to the page, of course. And if comment, share, all that good, fun stuff when y'all get a chance. We definitely appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to our affiliates, of course. Shout out to World Heat Entertainment, all the squad that's getting ready to prep for Hilltop World 2. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Dirty Joe, I see you back into the mix. Shout out to you, of course. When we get him down at the tables in a good amount of time once he gets everything flowing and stuff. Z, we'll get you in a couple of weeks. We see you soon.
Yep.
Besides that, let's start here. I'm going to let Vic get the topic off because he had a good topic when he was riding in the car. So I'm going to let him get this topic off.
Go for it.
So, when we were rolling up here...
On dubs?
On dubs.
Okay.
Sitting on Chrome.
Cruising down the street. No.
Cruising down the street in my... No, I don't got no 6'4s.
You can't say Jeep.
I'm cruising down my seat in my Cherokee. No. That's the wrong one. Beep, beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep?
Now, me and Cam were talking about some topics before we came here, as usual. Asked some what could be controversial things, but I'll start with the one we started at the tail end here. What is independence, and what does it mean to be independent? And unfortunately, I think a lot of people nowadays have confused independence with self-indulgence or selfishness or being self-centered. Because being independent doesn't mean it's about you. That's far from it. Nor does being independent mean that you don't have anyone you can't rely on. I know by definition, independent means you don't depend on anyone for anything,
Yep.
right? Which sounds ideal, but nobody's truly independent. Everybody has someone to depend on to some degree, because someone who just depends on themselves tends to be pretty miserable. Because humans are very social creatures. You're meant to have connections and relationships. From platonic to romantic, from friends to family, and to be truly independent, to cut yourself off from all that, and to refuse to form any bridges, let alone cross them, you find yourself very miserable. And nowadays we have an age on the internet that preaches all about independence, especially for women, and it's selling them not independence but narcissism.
And that's even from a guy's perspective too, but I'll get there in a second. What does independence mean to you?
I always say this, and that's a good question. You're not gonna get anywhere in this world without a little bit of help. I'm gonna just say that from off topic. I find it kind of not idiotic, but self-made when people say, "Oh, I build everything by myself from head to toe." No, you can say that, but of course you had a little bit of help around the corner, because ain't nobody just gonna write you a check by yourself without you acknowledging the certain venues you had to get to, or certain prosperities or goals you had to reach, and help out from other people around you. So when I hear people say that, "Oh, I'm an independent person," okay, yeah, that's fair enough. You got an education, you work hard what you get you, and you might have had a little struggles from time to time, but I respect your enthusiasm, but how you're not just gonna sit there and say you build everything up by yourself without getting no help. Because I can't say that, "Oh, I'm going to the top," but how did I get there? It's not just me; it's people around me. You have to ask the right kind of questions to the right kind of people, and you have to invest yourself to the right people in order to just sit there. I have built up for myself, but it didn't just take me to do it. It takes me to ask the right kind of people, the right kind of investments and stuff like that. So there's no such thing, in my opinion, as an independent person or woman.
Cam.
So Beyonce, in the Destiny's Child
I
era,
regret saying it.
in the Destiny's Child era,
I knew he was gonna say that.
Destiny's Child era always said, "I'm independent. Throw your hands up with me." Y'all remember the song?
I think I was in
Question.
high school when that song came out.
So
It's weird.
everybody knows the independent. But here's what I also know: her husband, who countered that, said, "I ain't here to give you love and affection. I'm here to give you 60 seconds of affection. I'm here to give you cap fare and direction. Get your independent ass out of here." Question. Take that part. Jay-Z.
He's
Get your First of all, he is. Get your independent ass out of here. Question. I say that to make a point, but especially for the kids in the back. I want to give it relatability so I can get to this point. There is at no point in time where you could say you got it out the mud dolo by yourself.
Never.
There's no way. There is somebody who helped you get you to your point. Whether it was your parents who's been helping you since day one, whether it's co-workers who helped you out along the way, whether it was cousins and aunties and stuff who helped you. There's always been somebody who's helped you along the way. Even when you say that, "Oh, well, I'm a millionaire, all this stuff, and I got it out the mud." Yes, you got it out the mud, but not by yourself. You always get it with a team of people. You're not as independent as you think you are. I don't care. You be like, "Well, I have my own business. I have that stuff." But who's working in your business? Mm-hmm. Are you doing the business by yourself? Are you doing all the finances? Are you doing all the banking? Are you doing all the taxes? Are you doing all the product flow?
Are you paying all the vendors?
Are you doing all that?
All the hog malls.
Literally. No, but I'm saying, what I'm saying about that is that people think that It's just a simple thing. Like, oh, I do this by myself.
Can I elaborate on something? Because
Yeah.
you made a good point. Because people, I hate when people do say that, because it's like, okay, how are you taking time out of your schedule of going down to the bank, paying, your mortgage or anything else on your business, dealing with vendors and stuff like that, because you got to pay certain kind of code violations
pay
and everything. So you mean to tell me and some people, I can't say some people can't do it, but at the same time, you still got to have a little bit of help because you're going to miss something out of the schedule.
Your most successful people have people who help
Exactly.
them. Gates had Steve Ballmer, amongst other people, who helped him. Zuckerberg have an army of people who helps him. Elon Musk got a whole thing. He has a whole
Elon
think.
has
He
a
has
whole
a
squad.
He has a think tank of super smart people who help him. Elon Musk is super smart, but he has a think tank with people who are smart as him, and in certain respects smarter, who helps him get these ideas off the ground. He's just a quote unquote visionary who say, hey, look, we'll take a chance. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least I tried, because I'm not going off the strength of what I think. I'm going off the strength of, my guy who's like the young little hotshot creator said, look, this might be a good idea to maybe go against NASA and throw a couple of rockets in space and see what we got.
One of those average pro league guys.
Right, and just one of those little regular Joe Schmoes who just so happens to be super smart, and then he goes to him and say, look, how do we make it work? So then he goes to another think tank to figure out how to make these ideas work.
Can that be good or bad?
It's always good, because you have a think tank. Even if you fail, at least you're trying. But you're not doing this dolo by yourself. He may be the beneficiary of the bread.
And then that's why I say, like this circle right here, we didn't get to without all of us helping each other.
Everybody has impact. Every single people, even the kids in the back, have impact. There's been people who be like, hey,
look. I get that shirt made for all the kids in the background.
Yeah, it's just like all the kids in the back. What I mean by that is, there's been many a times when
Cam sitting on a chair backwards.
yeah, that too.
Story time.
No, because there's been people who's given us info. Hey, look, this is maybe what y'all should be doing. Here's an idea. We take that and run with it. Why? Because it's not just what Cam says or what Paul says or what this person say. Even at work, you can work at whatever jobs y'all work at. Y'all ain't doing it dolo by yourself. You could try to do it dolo by yourself, and guess what? You're going to understand you're not going to be successful. You got to get a collaborative people to work with you.
And that's one thing I do respect what Master P always said in his interviews and stuff like that, because I watch it all the time. He said, I didn't get where I got to without asking a little bit of help. I had to ask the right people and spend the right money to the right people.
But let me get to more of the point that he was trying to say about the whole social media independent woman part of thing. Because your women would love to tell you, the women, well, I watch the baby, I work, I do all this stuff, I do this by myself, I'm independent, I don't need a man, is what they're trying to say. No, you do. You're just scorned because the man that you wanted didn't work out because you chose wrong. It's a difference. Let me repeat that. Let me say it again and make it in a way that is more palatable.
Watching the video.
Let me make that a little bit more relatable for the kids in the back too. Just because you do certain things, we're not questioning if you're a good mother. Because you do a lot of stuff. There are certain women who really have to struggle to do some of these things literally on their own. True. But I also will tell you that they also have gotten help along the way. Whether it came from the form of family, friends, cousins, co-workers, just like I repeated above. We're not questioning if, you're a good mother or not. But you're not independent. Guys, as much as we say we do stuff on our own, we're not independent. We still are independent and in need of something, and typically that dependence is typically of somebody from the opposite sex.
Well, I'm gonna sing you this because this goes in.
It's dependent on somebody of the opposite sex, and I'm not talking about just sex in general. What I mean is that you need some sort of male balance to balance things out. Women need a male balance to balance things out. A lot of that has to go with leadership. A lot of that has to go with direction and guidance. a guy needs a woman to balance them out because they need assistance, like a different voice to get in their head and not just have a whole bunch of dudes telling you one thing. You need balance.
It goes both ways.
That's what because you're not going to be 100% independent of anything.
Well, the thing about it too. So the thing about it too is like you were talking about. A lot of people nowadays they say, well, what do you demand for? Some will say, well, protection, right?
Which is important.
Which is true. But most people are just thinking of physical protection, which is not just that. No, a man and a woman protect each other on all fronts. But, for instance, like you were talking about, you got a group of dudes together, they're going to make some plans. Some of them may not be so good. And without the voice of a woman, they may not know that. And vice versa. I think one of the most important things that a couple protect each other from is bad decisions.
Exactly. Ooh, that's an absolute fact. Because
you're not lying on that one. That's strong.
If a couple is on the same page, a lot of the protection is not just the physical. I need to fight somebody if somebody gets on. No. Sometimes you got to protect the other person from a bad decision or a bad situation that they could potentially put themselves in because they're not thinking the right way. That's an absolute fact.
I'll put it like this, and that was an interesting point of view.
That's an absolute fact. I like that a lot.
Here's the thing. Guys and dudes, guys and girls do this all the time. They'll take a chance on certain people's. So when they don't, when that person don't have nothing, but they still hang out around and this and that and the other. But then when they realize they don't have it, they'll push them away to go see if they can go find that person they do have it. And then when the person they pushed away who don't have it now builds up their character and does have it, now they see that they have it. Now they want to start chasing back. Oh, now this person have it. But then you didn't realize at the time that when that person did got it, now you messed up not only just a potential opportunity of being, the right person with the right person, but now you messed up yourself because now you seen how you treated somebody with no value. Now they get value. Now all of a sudden you want to start coming around.
Because here's the thing. I get your point, but here's what you're trying to say. And I saw this in a podcast. I think it was
But that's an excellent point of view you just said right there, Vic.
It was from a podcast called Tonight's Conversation. I think that was a conversation where they took this from. So
the white boy?
No. Let me try to get this together so I can make sure I get it right. When women are young, the nerd boy freshes of the world was not getting no run because they were basing it upon look. They was not basing it upon potential, but they want to be with the bad boy, the drug dealers, them types, right? The gangs, the drug dealers. They want to be with them. They want to be with the bad boy types. But when the nerd boy freshes, all of a sudden we get some money and some resources, some clout and some shine. The women who had already been with the bad boy type, who had money at the time, but maybe in jail. But now they got two kids by the dude. Then they're like, their dude's in jail. Now they're looking to try to get their life together. Now they want the nerd boy fresh type, the one who was like grinding, doing it the right way, things like that. Now they getting to the point of, I want to have this type guy. Yeah. I don't want the bad boy anymore. I want the good guy. After they mess up and they expect the nerd boy fresh types to take care of them, as opposed to go chase somebody who they really want. Now, I say that to say this. The women, as far as the women in particular, who talk about independence, they were not independent from jump. They were always dependent upon certain things because what they wanted was, I want a man to take care of me. Then they mess up with the guy who they want. They wanted the bad boy type because they want to flip the bad boy to try to be a good dude.
It's not a car. You don't repair it and flip it.
That's what a lot of people think. They think that, because keep in mind, in a relationship, and I will elaborate on this, and this is something for the kids in the back, 70% of what
you say 70 pimps.
70%, not 70 pimps. 70%.
That sounds like an album.
That's the way he said it. I'm gonna say 70%.
70% 70% of what you look at in values for characteristics, they kind of have to have. But there is about 30% that you have to project as potential. What do I mean for that for the kids in the back? You're not going to get a final product when you are with anybody. Nobody's going to give you their final form right then and there. You could have everything, but they're not in their final form.
Because there's no such thing.
Exactly. But you're basing 30% of it off potential. So what do I mean is that, well, this person may not be this in this aspect. Meaning that, well, they may not be financially great right now, but they could potentially be financially great because they have a lot of good attributes that could potentially make them financially great. Or they could be, well, maybe this person is not necessarily
the right fit.
No, they're not a perfect fit, but they could potentially be that. You know, I talk about, at the beginning before we started, we talked about the ham hock squad that had the show.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Certain people would look at women like that and say, look, if you actually put the right person around them and they push them and motivate them to maybe drop 50, 60, 70 pounds, they could potentially be really, really good. But then you're not basing it off of what is, you're basing it off potential, but you're really trying to gauge what their drive and what their motivation is, and can you as a man in a leadership position instill that in them? A lot of times that doesn't happen though, because a lot of times what you think is potential is not that, it's really just a fact, and you're just hoping that you're hoping that you could get that potential out of them, but a lot of times it doesn't, because what you think is potential is literally a factual thing that's really in their life, and you can't really change them because they've been like that for too long and they don't want to move positions because they are quote unquote independent.
Well, yeah, it's everything, and most importantly, everyone is an investment. You're always investing in somebody. I mean, even passively.
Yep.
When you're spending time with someone, that's a form of investment.
Yep.
Even your coworkers. It's really how it is in this life. Life is full of investments, and you don't need an app to do it.
Facts.
It's the thing about it is people don't see it that way. I think I think far too many people look at time spent with other people as kind of being nothing, when in reality, no. When you really look at it, it's an investment. Like for instance, right now, my time here with you two recording this episode is an investment of what may be to come in the next few months. I don't know. That's why I'm here, cash in and see.
Yep.
That goes with anything and anyone. You sit at the bench and talk with a coworker you don't really know. That's an investment into the person to see what kind of person they really are, and see if they're worth investing. And another thing about potential is a two-way street.
Yep.
Potential to be better, potential to be worse.
Yep.
I think people forget that. And usually the word potential is it's kind of synonymous with good.
Yep.
As in, you always hear, well, they have a lot of potential. It's like, yeah, but they could have a lot of potential
potentially bad too
to suck.
Yep.
But the thing about it is the crux of what I'm trying to say is that people are worth the time, people are worth the effort, but you have to realize that there are such a thing as bad investments.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right? And I know some people don't want to think that, especially when you put a lot of time and effort into a person, and it turns out that was a poor investment.
Yep.
And you try to hang on to it, you're only going to lose more. So you got to know when to cut off.
Yeah, you got to know when to pull.
And that's with anything. A lot of things, but specifically right now we're talking about with people. I think what I'm trying to say to our dear audience here is that they should realize is that time spent with people is never a waste. It's only a waste if you allow it to be.
Yep.
Wastefulness is not natural. Waste only comes when you start to waste.
Facts.
That is a fact.
That's where waste comes from, both metaphorically and
Yeah,
literally.
and literally. No, that's a literal.
I'm glad you clarified that.
No, it's
But
both.
but that's what I'm saying is that when people say, well, it was a waste of time, it's either you realize it was a poor investment and you're calling it a waste, or you actually yourself wasted that time.
Right.
it's like with anything in life. It's like it's either your fault or it's not. Why sometimes something doesn't work out. Again, this is a lot of. These are topics people don't like talking about because nowadays people don't like looking
people
incel.
like it, but they have to hear it.
Because they don't like the whole thing of like everything's a risk reward situation. We talk about this all the time. Everything you do is risk reward. You never know. It could be something that you could potentially, invest into, and it could go well, or you could invest into it, and it could go sideways. But you never know. But what you should always be trying to do is be willing to take the chance at times. But you want to take what I always called calculated risk. Do a little bit of research, do a little bit of thought process. Not everybody's able to do every single thing. Not everybody is going to be compatible with you. So you have to be able to do your research, do your time, and really start thinking your way through before you say, this is the person or this is the team I want to lock into and invest.
Yeah.
So when people think about that from a business point of view, it's the same thing. Well, let me do the research on maybe getting this person to financially sponsor the movie or whatever it may be. You're thinking of the potential of maybe this is the right team to connect with. In relationships, we try to do that, but we do that based upon the wrong value system because they're thinking of, well, this person may not look the way that I want. And I'm not saying that looks ain't important, looks is. This person may have the looks, but their personality is doo-doo. Or this person may have the looks, but they can't cook to save their life.
Well, it's like it's like a Ferrari, but with an engine with 200,000 miles.
Right. But you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that. Look, certain investments, is it something that is a fixer-upper, or is something that is kind of like ready-made to go? And then you have to figure out which one do you want to be. But even your stuff that is ready-made to go.
That's a great point of view you just made.
That goes on with anything. I don't care, in relationship or whatever. But keep in mind, even the stuff that is ready to go still has maintenance. Still has upkeep. No.
That's upgrade. Baby.
No.
You're not lying though.
And it could upgrade. You can make it better. In a relationship, that holds true. Not trying to be funny.
I'm not laughing about what you said.
I want you to understand.
I'm laughing because you're not wrong. That's the point.
Because you can have a ready-made product
that people don't get.
Even your ready-made products can be better.
Yeah.
But most ready-made products, what do? They deteriorate over time. That's why when you buy a car off the lot, as soon as you drive it, the depreciation of a car drops down in half. That's why it's not a good investment. But something like a house, which needs maintenance, which needs fixing and stuff all the time, gains value. Mm-hmm. In a relationship, guess what? The girl that you may be investing into, or let me say the person, because for the women who's watching the back, who's looking at guys, for the person you're investing into, they could be a ready-made product. But they need somebody to be in support who's, to give the additional maintenance to support them. Or, let's say they deteriorate over time, they need somebody to help them, build them up to make sure that they're back to where they're supposed to be. They may not be 100%.
Make your point,
but they're going to be in a viable position where they're going to be growing and being strong. That's the point.
Oh yeah, what I was going to say is give me a second. What was I going to say? Damn.
Take your time. Take your time, pastors.
But speaking of what you were saying, it's a maintenance thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how it needs to be, how relationships need to be maintained.
Yep.
Right. Now I remember. Okay. So I know some people may find it a little distasteful how we're using kind of like currency and product as an analogy to describe all this, but I mean, truth be told, people are products. I mean, yes, this is America. I'm not talking about literal products. People aren't slaves anymore, at least here. But
talk that talk, Victor.
Tell them.
Wait. We're not talking about sex. Now, wait a minute. We got pause for station identification. We are not talking about slaves on MLK Day. We ain't doing that. No, I'll tell you that. We ain't talking about slaves, slave masters, not on MLK Day when the first thing he said was, I have a dream that all people...
But what I was saying is I know some of you may find it distasteful that we're using the analogy of, product and value in the terms of, like currency, vehicle, and stuff like that. But like I was saying, people are products. I mean, you hear it all the time. You're a product of your environment. You're a product of your workplace. You're a product of your own stewardship.
Facts.
People are products, and what do you do with products but purchase them? We're not talking about money with this. We're talking about being purchased with time, affection, relationship, It's not. I'm not saying relationships are transactional in the sense of it's a give and take. It's transactional in the sense of I am giving myself to you to give yourself to me.
Right.
I'm not talking about, okay, I take you, we go get you Louis Vuitton, now you get on the bed. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
That's how. But that's
there are,
how
those exist.
That's how certain relationships work. I will pay for you. I will get you whatever you want, but this is what you got to do. It's just what it is, and that's in certain. And remember, God, that goes into the other conversation we was having. Remember, we was talking about the, what's more? What was the question? What's more? What's more harmful? Was not harmful, but what was the question? What was more?
When you picked me up?
Huh?
When you picked me up?
Yes.
The problem was, what brings you more problems?
What brings you more problems, money or women?
Yeah. Oh, good God.
No. This is a good. No, this is a goodie. No, but it goes right to where you. It goes right to where you were.
Y'all really hitting the home run on this question.
No. But it goes into what he was saying.
Go for it. Wow.
Because what's more of a problem? Is it the money, or is it the woman? Here's the thing. In this day and age,
he's wearing white. He don't want to mess up his jacket.
In this day and age, a lot of people equate the money to get the woman. That's how it's projected on social media. That's what they're trying to teach you. This is why this is part of one of the many reasons I'm trying to ban TikTok. We'll get there in about 5 minutes. Don't worry, we'll get to that.
Well, before.
But back to what I was saying about the whole money thing. Is money more of a problem, or is women more of the problem? I think that women in this day and age is so fixated on money that they are becoming more of a problem than
Are you saying
money.
that women make money the problem?
Because exactly. No, exactly right. Because you want to know why? Because when they're so locked into let's can we
well, but hold on.
Can we speak the truth? He asked Nerd Boy Fresh a question.
Before you answer this question, because this is a good topic, I need to share something with you guys, just because this goes into this conversation.
All right, boy,
it's going to be a little unorthodox, unorthodox, but listen.
Back then, and they gave it up to the girl they love, and what happened? They got rocked, or they got crushed, or they got destroyed, they got cheated on, or laughed at, or something, and when they're finished picking up the little pieces of what was once their heart, you know what they said? Every single one of them made a vow. Never to give it up again. That's right, never to give it up again.
Stop. Here's what he didn't say. I
know you was going to catch it.
No. Here's because he said all this, like, oh, well, guys are so afraid of getting their heart broken.
Again, to clarify.
Yeah. How did he get his heart broken? What was the cause and effect of him getting his heart broken?
Because, okay, even not saying cheating is never okay. Cheating is vile and awful. But what was happening that caused her to feel that she should do that?
Right. So what's the...
Not that it could ever be justified.
No.
I'm just saying.
So was it Was it another guy who looked better? Maybe. Was it the guy who she was with was, had some money, but the guy who has more money decided to like pluck her out and be like, well, I'm gonna slide with the dude who has more money, and just for her to get used and abused, and then want to come back to the dude who she really was supposed to be with to begin with.
That goes into that money thing, what you said.
But that goes into my initial thing of women has made money more of the problem. I'm not saying now in the grand scheme of things, money is more of a problem than women in any form of fashion.
Dude,
but,
look at the national debt.
Right, but women is so fixated on money that they're blinded to everything else that is given to them, not knowing that your guy who you're with, just because they're not there at this juncture in time, and maybe somebody else is, that doesn't mean that 6 months from now that those scenarios flip. The guy that you're looking at who's the millionaire, who so happens to have a TikTok page, who invested everything into TikTok, all of a sudden goes dark and their money is dead. But the guy who was working a regular job, have a YouTube page, got an Instagram page, and got their following. See how they just kind of flip roles in a heartbeat? Now that the roles are flipped, now you're looking at, well, the guy who had all this following and all this clout and all this motion, their house got burned in the fire. Shout out to the people who lost their stuff in the fire. Much love to y'all. We'll get there in a second too. Their livelihood has changed. They got to do all this investing just to get their life back, and they may not get it back because they really didn't have it like that. But now the person who was working regular
starting to adapt.
Just know they were already okay. But you didn't see. All you saw was the big splashy because you're so fixated upon money. Whereas the other person,
they're doing a 9 to 5.
But as the other person who really wanted to do, I didn't care about the money. I'll give you whatever you want. I just need you to just be in support of me.
The rabbit in the hare.
Yes.
I mean, not the rabbit in the hare.
The tortoise in the hare.
The tortoise in the hare. Is that a fitting analogy?
Yes, that is a very fitting analogy because even though the tortoise may be behind in certain things initially, that doesn't mean that they don't catch up. A lot of people...
And more importantly, it doesn't mean they're not in the race.
Yes, they always are in the race. And they're always there. And guess what? And the thing is, women always know that they're in a race. They know it. They just want to bypass it because they want it to be splashy. But here's the thing about doing splashy things. Splashy things, it may get you a little instant gratification for a quick point of time. But in the grand scheme of things, as quickly as stuff is splashy, as quickly as that splashy stuff gets taken away. A splash just splashes hit the water. Cause a ripple effect, but that ripple stops. But the water...
That's a great analogy. Water analogy.
The water
still keeps it flow, baby.
It's always flowing. If I'm fluid, I'm the water. You want the dude who wants to drop the rock in the water and try to cause waves, right? But I'm the wave maker. I'm the one who's consistent.
Like a mermaid, but you're a guy mermaid.
Yeah, but I'm consistent. I'm going to be there. I'm the stream who flows into an ocean.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Nah, forget the waterfalls. I'm the stream who flows into the ocean. So my small.
You know what he is?
No.
He's a Forrest Gump.
No.
Lieutenant Dan
My investment into people. My investment is one part of a bigger situation. So even though I'm cool with what I do, it's bigger than me because I flow into something that is bigger. And a lot of times the stream is not flashy.
Well, like we always say, everything is bigger than we perceive it to be. Everything.
Yes.
And going back to what we were talking about with relationships, the relationship between, a man and a woman, it's bigger than they perceive.
Exactly.
Far bigger. It's not just about their wants, their desires, their choices, their lust. That's not all it's about. Because if they're willing to make it work, that has long-lasting ripples. It's called a family.
Right.
And that family can expand.
But sometimes it can be roadblocks on that.
No. And it's recognized by everybody who doesn't have it. That's the thing. So you can go and be in a venue, be with your significant other, be with the person who you're married to, and guess what? You got all your people who may be with the dude who they cheating on at the concert, whatever. Looking at the married couple and be like, that's really what I want. But I'm with this knucklehead here who just wants a one-night stand because he's the one who paid for me to go to said concert. See how that goes? And a lot of times that goes into your Louis Vuitton conversation. If I give you this Louis, this is what you have to do for me, because y'all made it a conversation about it has to be about money. What guys really would want, for a long period of time, guys didn't want to have a whole bunch of interchangeable women. The people who maybe talk about it in music and in movies and things like that, the guys who really are, who talk about it, guess what they have at home? One woman. Sometimes it's the woman who messes up that situation. Shout out to Cardi B who messed up her situation. But no. I'm just giving you an example. No, because see, the thing is, I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got my ring, right? But then you was
that still bothers.
But you were still on the side, cheating on your dude while you were pregnant, and then you expected dude.
Oh, I didn't know she was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant and cheating on her dude, and then you expect him to be like, well, I didn't really care about him anyway, doing all this stuff. No, you cared about him enough to marry him, but you just wanted to do something deceitful, just to be mad because of what he did back in the day. When y'all should have just separated at that point in time instead of causing things to make it worse.
Well, yeah. A tumor untreated leads to death.
It's just like, it's crazy. But what I mean by that is that y'all were so fixated upon the money, the lifestyle, all that stuff, that y'all really forgot about core value. That was more of the conversation
and
piece.
Foundation.
But here's the flip of the coin. For every Cardi B's that's out there, Snoop Dogg's been with his wife for like 30 years.
I just watched that video yesterday.
He's been with his wife for 30 years. The same one in the trenches, and he's around women and stuff all the time. He could have them all interchanged.
And he said it in his interview. That was the most respectful thing I can honestly say about Snoop. He said, "Y'all know who I am. I be surrounded by baddies 24/7 and this and the other. But at the end of the day, I still got my queen at the house for almost day.
She's in the trenches.
She knows what I do, and she respects what I do.
She's been in the trenches with him since the beginning. Ice Cube, his girl's been in the trenches since the beginning. Denzel, wife's been with him for 30. I mean, I can keep rattling off. I can keep rattling off. I'm just letting you know, even though they say it in music,
even Samuel Jackson,
even though they say it in music, that is something different.
You know how much money they spend on them CDs?
I'm just saying that even though they do it in music, they say like, oh, my girls, I got interchangeable girls out of that. Got.
Recipe Snake Dogg.
But in the grand scheme of things, guess what Nate Dogg had before he passed? His girl was at home.
And his kids. Shout out to his son.
Right. I'm just letting you know that just because it's what's being perceived, that's not what is. What is that everybody got one at home and they just want a regular life.
And that's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to have a strong queen on your side that you can rock with for the whole 30
Anyway,
minutes.
we got two things we want to get to. We got about 15 minutes. I want to get to two things. One, let's talk about Trump real quick. He's getting inaugurated into office.
On MLK Day, on all days.
which is like, boy.
That's funny.
Oh, boy.
You gonna see John Jones doing the Trump dance?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, boy, did they pick a crazy day to put this man in the office? You couldn't wait till Tuesday. Really?
On Martin Luther King
MLK Day, y'all go
now,
put.
He is at home doing this.
I was like, yo.
Oh, Trump coming out.
Now.
Cruising down the street in my city.
Now, here's the quick question. I'm gonna throw it out to you.
Like, how would you feel if, like, after the inauguration, Trump comes out of the White House and just says, brothers?
He probably already had.
He probably already did all that. He
already a gangster now.
He already made Obama basically kiss the ring, so it's like, it's whatever.
You got the juice now.
Yeah,
basically.
What do y'all see changing because Trump's in office?
Right now, this instant, not much. I am hoping for lower food prices.
Okay.
What about you, Paul?
You know, for me, it's a lot of things, but I will say this: if he does change one thing, help change out the homeless situation.
I don't know if you can do that. In
I
4
mean,
years.
I know it's not. You know, he can't change that.
I'm gonna be
But
honest with
if
you.
he can, help at least get it.
Help the homeless situation.
Yeah.
You want to know my honest take about that?
But
because I know how he gets down.
Yeah.
I personally think it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that from like him like directly. I'm just saying that Trump is he's a business mind and a capitalist mind at that. So capitalist is
help lower rent.
No. Capitalist is all about no. It'll be the opposite. It's about haves and have-nots. And so what he's going to do is what he did his first war. He made sure that the people who had it continue to have it. But the people who don't, is going to be a gap to catch up to the ones who do. That's why I said it may be, for all intents and purposes, somewhat worse in that regard. Now, here's things that y'all need to be concerned with this man taking office. I know one of the things that they happened in Chicago, like, they were prepared for ICE to run in and start snatching people up. Because that was his first mandate. No, let me rephrase that. That wasn't his first mandate because he made his first mandate last night. But we'll get there in a sec. His second mandate was he gonna try to get like the people who are here illegally, especially doing criminal stuff. He gonna go after them first. So when y'all start,
As he should.
Yeah, but when y'all start seeing ICE start running down on people, you're gonna hear a lot of stories, and it's gonna seem bad. It's gonna seem bad because they're gonna look away. They're gonna be like, well, we got rights, all this stuff. No. He trying to clear up some stuff real quick because what he's trying to do is make America not necessarily great, but at least viable.
Stable.
Yeah, at least viable. And part of the viability is creating opportunities for people who was born and raised here. And I get that. And that's why a lot of stuff he's going to try to close off and make crazy deals, which is going to look crazy in the grand scheme of things. Now, I personally think that it's going to be good if you have the mindset of, really grinding, really investing, really trying to do something in these next couple of years, because he's going to be an opportunity for people to really try to grow and make some money in this pocket. It's going to be a pocket where you can make some money, but I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen thereafter. It's like a glass ceiling with a much thinner glass floor, because you're going to be able to push that ceiling for a little bit, but once you push that ceiling, that floor is going to collapse with it. So you're going to go up and it's going to slam down. We'll talk about that 4 years from now. You'll understand what I mean in regards to that.
I feel you.
Here's the other thing that we'll talk about. All the people, speaking of investing, all the people who invested in one platform just to do everything that y'all do and TikTok and stuff, y'all just found out that, as quickly as things y'all can have it, it's as quickly as it can get snatched away.
Yeah.
Don't think that just because it's there and y'all making money and all that stuff that they care. The only reason why Trump is allowing this, the only reason,
Because he uses it.
no, it had nothing to do with that. This is about money.
Money, yeah.
He wants either an American company to buy it outright, which that's not going to happen because they said they wasn't going to sell.
Yeah.
They don't want to sell. It's too valuable. Shout out to Kevin O'Leary, one of the Shark Tank guys. Shout out to him. He threw $20 billion.
Oh, so he did throw the money.
No, he said, I want $20 billion for the whole thing. And them boys said no. But here's what it tells you.
Huh.
Anybody who watched Shark Tanks already know the mindset. If he threw 20 billion at it, that means it's basically worth probably 20. That's only 20% of its true value. That means it's worth in the trillions. Because that's how many people use TikTok. That's how valuable and viable social media has become, where a small app is almost $1 trillion entity. Because if you're throwing 20 billion at it,
can you blame it though? Because look at the platform. You got some good stuff and you got some negativity stuff. But at the same time, you can buy and then make profit off of it
it wasn't even designed for that. The thing was supposed to be musically.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a thing for kids. It's just people, like the adults, decided to invade the kids' space, and then, well, let me get on there and do it with the kids. And then all of a sudden, they start seeing these little kids start making a little bit of money. He was like, oh, well, these little kids is making a little bit of money. Let me see if I can make some money. And they started making money, and they messed it up.
If you want to talk about like adults invading kid things, I want to say like stuff like you've heard of Roblox.
Mm-hmm. Oh God.
Roblox,
Minecraft, Fortnite, all the stuff that kids typically play.
And let's face it, these. I'm not going to say video games in general for kids because it's for everyone, but those games in particular are designed for a young audience, and it's been flooded with much older people who just seek to make a business out of it.
Right, they're just there to write it for money. But when you put all your entity into one thing, and it gets snatched up, and then y'all up here crying. And here's the thing about it. Did y'all see all these people? Well, let me move over to Red Note, which is another
What the hell is that?
It's another Chinese app. You can't even understand it because it's all in Chinese. You need Google Translate just.
That's funny.
But this is what they were. No, this is what they were doing. They were moving to Lemonade and Red Note.
Lemonade and Flip.
And I was like, why are y'all moving to these apps that are still Chinese?
I didn't know they still had Lemonade.
They did it as a secondary app to try to if they block TikTok, we have a secondary. That was their fail safe, and they blocked Lemonade too, by the way. Now, the thing behind it is that I understand what the Supreme Court was saying. So I need y'all to understand what they're doing and why it's important. Because it's not important for my generation who is old enough who won't see this happen. But it is going to be for the generation for my kids. Because the kids who are on TikTok now, 10, 11, 12, 13, the ones who are like 19, 20, 21, 22, about 20 years from now, some of these people are going to be CIA, FBI, National Security, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
Can't forget everyone's favorite,
Congress, ATF, Congress, people working in the Treasury, potential politicians. But if you're against a rival country who has access to your stuff early, who already has their stuff in their database, and one of these people become president of the United States, which that is a very real possibility, but a country who hates us has information on that person and had it for like 20 years and just have it in tow and is waiting to use it on you, that's a problem. People don't understand that that's a very big national security. People think that when you talk about national security is not always about guns and planes and tanks and stuff. You do understand the war has been fought cyber for God knows how long, a long time. A few weeks ago, the Treasury got hacked from some hackers because, again, that's how the battle is being fought. It's not being fought with tanks and stuff because they know that most people don't want to go head up with the U.S. when it comes to guns and stuff. We got that on lock. But they can't clip us when it comes to tech. You want to know why? Because the American people is stupid. Let me say it for the kids in the back. The American people is stupid because they're telling you we really shouldn't be using TikTok because we put our information out there and it could be literally leveraged and used against us in ways that we don't even know just yet. Not just now, but in the future. This is why they were trying to tell y'all, if y'all going to do this, go slide to an American-made company. What's the problem with y'all going back to Instagram and Facebook? Y'all may not love it. Y'all can still get paid off of it. Y'all can still make a platform off of it. Shout out to people watching along on the YouTube front for us. Appreciate that. But we're stupid because we're so locked into this one app and we're so dumb that we was like, well, we'll go from one Chinese app to another Chinese app. Really? Really, 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 kids, really.
I mean, you've heard the phrase. This is the phrase, old as can be. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
And don't slide to. You're gonna still slide with the enemy. Well, I don't care if it's in Chinese. I'ma still use it anyway. Y'all stupid.
Facts.
Really? That's stupid.
You
I'm not
said-
trying to be fun. I mean,
You sound so disappointed.
no, because I never understood if this was a security threat, and they told you to leave the security threat, but then you're gonna run into it again. So there's a fire, and then you leave the fire, and it's more of a fire, but you're gonna run back into the fire again. Not to go save nothing, just because, I just want to play in the fire for a little bit. Really?
Really?
This is why hell exists. Apparently. Because apparently y'all like playing with fire. But this is what I was saying about the whole TikTok thing. That my take was that it's bigger than just y'all making a little bit of money. But y'all want to make it about money. Trump even made it about money. That tells you where he even thinks about it. He doesn't even care about the security threat. The Supreme Court said no and block it off. Trump said, nah, we can make some money off of it. Really? Really, Trump? Really? Just to try to make a few, just like to make a few people happy. Tell them to move.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people already knew Trump was going to do that.
No, because he's looking at it from a business perspective and not a safety issue. This is a safety issue. This is like a spill on the floor, and you mop up half of the water.
Because if they really wanted to, they could shut down all platforms.
No, it's not. The reason why I'm not shutting down the platforms because, again, the reason why we're shutting down the reason why they don't want TikTok to be there is because it's ran by a rival government who got direct access, which compromises our safety and security. Facebook doesn't do that. Instagram doesn't do that. Snapchat, believe it or not, doesn't do that.
So what's going to happen now?
Move off the platform. Go to Instagram and wait some time until another developer who's a U.S.-made developer make up something a little bit better.
Damn it, get your data stolen by Americans.
Or give Zuckerberg and them team some time to get Instagram right. And YouTube has been fine. There's so many people making money on YouTube, but y'all don't want to compete. See, this is the other problem I have. So the wildebeest, the ham hock squad, the bonnet patrol.
Damn.
You just got all kinds of names from big girls.
It really bothered him.
The bonnet patrol, the ones who don't have their
it
hair.
didn't bother them just because he bothered because it was more than one. That's what bothered him.
No, because my thing is, it's like these are the ones who. No, here's the other thing. This even better. This even reminded me of something else that happened at the concert. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding the kid. So all these.
I had to go to one of these big girl concerts.
All you saw was these big girls Snapchatting. They're on TikTok. They on TikTok because TikTok was active. It was already active by the concert time. They on TikTok. This is us at the concert. This is us. We video segment at the concert and all this stuff. I was like, y'all better thank Trump that y'all actually have a chance to do this. Y'all was really looking real sad. Mm-hmm. But y'all willing to do that, but y'all said y'all don't want to do that on Instagram. What's the difference? Just because y'all think that Instagram, it's too competitive on Instagram, it's too competitive on YouTube. Any platform you go on is going to be competitive.
Yeah, because you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. It's going to be competitive. If there's a new platform that comes up, guess what? It's competitive too. It's whatever. Compete. Get better. Do better. That's what we try to do. We're not a perfect product, but we're getting there. And we're gonna be as good as we can. We're gonna never be perfect, but we will be absolutely good at what we do. And I'm not afraid to compete against anybody or any entity or anything. Never have been, never will be. The only thing I fear is God himself. Everything else, I don't fear. But that's the thing about the TikTok thing. It's like, dude, y'all gotta be better. Y'all gotta be better in regards to our security.
What do you think about TikTok? They're gonna get rid of it now?
No, because it didn't become a. See, the Supreme Court said it's a matter of security. Trump said it's a matter of money. I don't care about security. You don't even have to buy it outright. Is what we're saying. Just give us half. Really, half. So
Yeah,
Kevin
maybe
O'Leary
they
could just throw like 10 billion at this and just get half, but our stuff is still compromised because it's still in Chinese hands. Oh, by the way, at the inauguration, take a look at it when y'all get a chance, when y'all get home, or whenever y'all get up. For the kids in the back, take a look at the inauguration. Look at about like the 4th or 5th row. You're gonna see a couple of Chinese people up in there, right? Gonna be the owners of TikTok. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Pay attention. This is all about money, and this is why I said Trump is good when it comes to like business and financial stuff, but when it comes to some other stuff, I don't know. And this is why I said in the next 3 years, you're gonna see a lot of good things. And you're going to see a lot of trash things in the same conversation piece.
Just be prepared.
Just be prepared for both sides of that coin. Like I said, be prepared for that glass ceiling and that glass floor, because both of which is true at this point. There is a glass ceiling and there's also a glass floor, because as high as we can get up, it's as easily we could crash down. So just be prepared for it. Anyway, fellas, final thoughts before we get up out of here, because it's like 9:45.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, glad you could join us for another episode of the PVC Podcast Crew. As always, we hope you were entertained by our conversation and walk away with a little something of value. But most of all, we want to value your time, and we want you to value ours by, again, hitting that like button. Even if you don't like us, you can certainly hit the button.
And like us.
Exactly.
Not like this.
As always, we hope you enjoy the soothing voice of Cameron, the smile of Paul, and my presence. Now, before we close out, I must pass this on to Paul. Paul, please, let our dear viewers know your final thoughts.
This boy hilarious today, boy.
Oh,
See,
man.
this all started with a dark-winged duck eye, but we can talk about that.
First and foremost, that was amazing. I will say this, regardless of all these topics, be mindful that things can transparent at any time. I don't care if you out here in America or overseas or anything like that. When it happens, it happens. So just be prepared on that too. There always gonna be a time or a place where you're gonna have to make a decision whether if your value is true nature or not. But at the same time, you're still a human being. Regardless of you don't get the certain attention that you think you deserve, or the certain, look that you think you should be having, or the certain car you should be driving, certain type of money you should be making, or even a certain type of crowd you should be hanging out with. But at the same time, you're still a human being. You still have to live for you. Regardless of what people think about you, you just got to keep pushing forward and keep getting yours. So that's one thing I'm taking for granted for myself as I'm getting older, because at the same time, sometimes I never thought my value was even worth enough until I met the right people and stuff like that. And what pushes me and what drives me and what motivates me to even wake up the next day is knowing that I'm making a difference in my life. A lot of things is changing in my life. And I can't thank enough to the crew I have with my boy Cam, my boy Victor. Shout out to my boy Jason Lane and Marco, both Marcos is and Mike and stuff like everybody in general, and the new up and coming people that I'm surrounded with. So I will say that just honor your true value and keep pushing forward and keep getting yours.
Cameron.
Man, get your independent ass out of here.
I didn't want to throw the Independence Day too. I watch it.
Anyway, shout out to Jay-Z. Anyway, don't ever think that you're independent, because everybody's dependent upon somebody. Y'all should be dependent upon God, but you're all dependent upon somebody at some point in time. Understand that we all need people to help support, push, get to like different aspects of the areas in your life. Yes, you're going to go through trials and tribulation. You're going to go through situations that's not going to be always favorable, but even in that regard, you're still going to need somebody to help you, support you, lift you up. And then when you are at a point when you're where you're doing good, you need to be in support of other people's and help them grow, expand, help, build, do all that stuff. Like I always say, always been bigger than you. If y'all haven't got that by now, I don't know when y'all gonna get that, especially the kids in the back, but y'all get it. Y'all get it. Anyway. Shout out to all of our affiliates. Of course, shout out to each and every one of y'all subscribers, even the ones that are watching across and who haven't hit the like and subscribe yet. Click, 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 take you about 2 seconds to click the like and subscribe. We appreciate that. Keep putting the notifications on too, so when we get the next podcast up, y'all be well aware of that. Shout out to our affiliates, World Heat Entertainment, amongst others. Shout out to Dirty Joe, all of y'all. It's definitely a privilege and an honor to have y'all along with us for the ride.
My boy Z, see you soon.
Yeah, Z, we'll get you on the table in a couple of weeks. Don't you worry. We're going to have him up next. Again, we'll have Joe a little bit further down the line. And then once we get the second part of the movie up and running, we're going to do a big composite podcast where we're going to have all the cast and characters of that. And all the people who's had their hands involved in that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. That's going to be on the World Heat Entertainment page, of course. Besides that, we're working on some other special guests we're going to be putting together down the line. We're trying to map that out to get a good schedule for that. And we're going to probably do a quick road show. I haven't talked to the boys about it yet, but we're going to do a road show up and coming later on. Yeah. We're going to do a road show. We're gonna do something off campus. We're gonna do something off campus. We're gonna do something off campus because we were talking about doing this before, but we're gonna definitely do something off campus. Maybe downtown LA. We maybe do something out there, or we may do it by the beach. But we're gonna do something off campus because I got a little something where I'm working out to make that happen. But that's gonna be probably in about a month and a half from now. But be on the lookout for that. Outside of that, y'all. From my man Paul, from my man Big, my name is Cam, a.k.a. Nerd Boy Fresh.
Freaky.
Like always, it's God above everything. So next time, family, we'll do this again soon.
Much love and respect.
Salute.